once again to show support and solidarity with the people of Palestine. I get a message every single day from my good friend Dr. Mustafa Barghouti in Palestine. I go to the phone every morning, I turn it on, and the first thing I read is his message. And they're desperate, they're sad, they're angry, but they're very informative. He tells me how many children have been killed in Gaza in the last 24 hours. He tells me which villages in the West Bank have been destroyed by settlers. He tells me the number of people that have been taken into administrative detention in the West Bank and taken off to a prison somewhere in Israel. And since the so-called ceasefire in October, there have been 1,000 violations of it by Israel. There have been more than 1,000 people killed in Gaza since that time, including groups of children. And you might remember some weeks ago, there was a lot of reporting about violent incidents around the world. And they were right to report them. There was another violent incident which got no coverage whatsoever. That was when the Israeli Defense Force bombed a wedding party in Gaza. That got no coverage whatsoever around the world. There is somehow or other a kind of anaesthetising of journalists around the world to reporting the reality, the gross, appalling reality of what life is like for people in Gaza. The occupation, the reoccupation of Gaza started in October 23. Think of that. That is coming up to 18 months ago that started. Since that time, recorded deaths have now gone up to more than 70,000. Numbers of people missing, therefore presumed dead, running into the many thousands. We're looking at the possibility of 100,000 people being killed in Gaza during that period of the occupation. Absolutely disgusting and disgraceful. A number of us raised this issue day in, day out in Parliament. There's an informal alliance of MPs from the Independent Alliance Group, which I'm obviously a member of, and with some very, very good comrades on the backbenches of the Labour Party, including my good friend Richard Bergen, who sends his greetings to Ryan today. Richard has been absolutely magnificent in his persistence in raising issues concerning the occupation, and with Imran Hussain doing an excellent job also in pointing out the legal issues surrounding it as well. And through Progressive International, which I'm a member of the cabinet of, there's an alliance of left-wing radical parties and governments around the world. We established the Hague Group to hold Israel to account and be a force within the United Nations. And on behalf of Progressive International, I was invited by the South African government to go to the International Court of Justice to observe their application. So I think we should just say a big thank you to South Africa for having the courage and the bravery to take the case to the ICJ of genocide against Israel. And when I was there in that beautiful building, the Palace of Peace in The Hague, I was looking at this wonderful building and all that had gone on there and all that it witnessed. And I just thought back those days in the 60s, 70s and 80s when many of us campaigned in solidarity with the black community in South Africa to end apartheid. South Africa's thank you to the world has been to take the case of genocide on behalf of the Palestinian people to the ICJ. Thank you, South Africa. And we are doing an anniversary event at the ICJ ruling in Amsterdam in a few weeks' time, when I will be presenting the report we did from the Peace and Justice Project on the Gaza Tribunal, which we held last year. We had 2 days of 29 expert witnesses in devastating detail describing what it was like to amputate limbs of injured children, save their lives without anaesthetic. The pain the surgeons and others went through trying to save lives without anaesthetic, without antiseptic, without proper equipment. Yet, a few kilometres away, there was all the food, all the water, all the electricity, and all the medicines anyone could possibly need, deliberately denied to the Palestinian people by the Israeli Defence Force and the occupation. Isn't that just beyond disgusting and disgraceful? And since we are in Britain, since we are here to hold our own political system and government to account, that is what we have to do. Britain has been supplying weapons to Israel for a very long time. Britain has a security cooperation arrangement with Israel. Britain allows the use of the Royal Air Force bases in Cyprus to Israeli Defence Force planes and equipment. Britain allows the transfer of US weaponry via Britain and via those bases to Israel. We are complicit in the supply of arms to Israel. Now, when the ICJ offered its opinion, its legal opinion, that this is an act of genocide, Britain continued supply of weapons to Israel. And in legal terms, that means that we, as a country, have made ourselves complicit in that genocide by the continued supply of weapons. These are serious times and serious issues. And so, our solidarity is with the Palestinian people. Our solidarity is with them to end the occupation of Gaza, to allow a real ceasefire to be put into operation, and allow the people of Gaza to reconstruct the place. The people of Gaza to decide what kind of place they want to reconstruct. We don't need a viceroy, even Tony Blair as a viceroy, to go anywhere near the place. It's the people of Palestine that should decide the future of Gaza, not the so-called international. And of course, to end the occupation of the West Bank, and of course, to have a thought for a moment. My friends, don't allow yourselves to be distracted by people who want us to be distracted. Our focus is on solidarity with the people of Palestine. That's what's brought us here, and that's why we're here. And there's one other group I'd like to mention, unfortunately often gets slightly ignored in this, and that is the Palestinian refugees that have made their lives and their homes in Jordan, in Lebanon and Syria, and have been there since 1948. These are people that have problems over their citizenship in those countries, problems over their participation in those societies. What we need is also solidarity with them and recognise they too have a right of return, which was actually agreed by the UN many, many years ago. So I finish with this. Our solidarity is, of course, with the people of Palestine. That's why we're here. We have been attacked, we've been criticised, we've been demonised. There's been changes made in public order law in this country, and more are on the way. There are many people who have been criminalised because of this, including those people from Palestine Action that have been undertaking hunger strikes in prisons in this country, and I've been to the prisons to visit them to show my empathy and support with them. And so it's a whole generation of people that have been politicised and mobilised by the horror story of what's going on in Gaza and the West Bank. But it's also, I think, time to recognise that we've become a much larger movement around the world, that we are opposed to the wars, we are opposed to the power of the arms trade, and we're horrified at the new United States national security strategy, which takes upon itself control of all of Latin America, which gives itself the right to intervene in any country around the world where the US wants resources, and now Donald Trump apparently wants to either buy, invade, occupy or take over Greenland in some way. Well, if he's going to tear up every aspect of international law and every international convention, then there's going to be some very difficult times ahead. But I'll tell you what, it also means the rest of the world must understand the realities of what military power and military occupation is about, and build that global peace movement of solidarity that gives people the right to live the way they wish to live, that gives people the right to live an independent existence, and above all gives people the right of control over their own natural resources. And so, on a cold day here in Leeds, and all the hot days and cold days and all the other days we've had the national demonstrations and the many local demonstrations, we are part of a movement all over the world. Don't allow us to be divided, don't allow the media to denigrate us, and don't allow ourselves to be criminalised by the behaviour of governments in bringing in new legislation to restrict those demonstrations. Our marches, I've been on 36 of the 37 national marches. Our marches have been marches of unity and love. Our marches have included Muslim, Christian, Hindu and Jewish people. A very large block of Jewish people have been on all of the marches. We are a force for unity in the community. We're a force for solidarity in the community. We're a force against racism in our society. We will not allow ourselves or our community to be divided. Solidarity with the people of Palestine. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that speech, Mr. Corbyn. So we also actually have another speech coming up as well, and then I'm going to be doing some announcements now. So you are free to do what you please. Thank you so much. But make sure not to crowd him or ambush him, guys. We do have another speech as well before I do some announcements, so make sure you're still listening. If I could call up our other speaker, please. Round of applause for him.